For the love of dear God Almighty, when is this nightmare going to end? I have been battling and dealing and fighting with these demons for God only knows how long, and I only have so much energy left in the tank. I am 24 years old. I'm getting up there in age, dude. My back is starting to give out. My knees are starting to give out. My toes are starting to give out, dude. Everything is starting to give out. My mental and emotional well-being is deteriorating by every waking moment. And it seems the only valuable asset I have left is my raging, ginormous, voluptuous ass. I cannot escape this trauma, and I may have to just learn how to live with it. Film theory, we didn't listen. And this is what I tell y'all. Y'all don't want to listen to me. And now look at what happens. Now look, we're all doomed. The apocalypse. Society will cease to function.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, the show that's been ruining puppets for you since 2016. Theorists, it is back. The OG...
Oh, you think... Matthew, listen. Matthew, okay? No disrespect. Matthew, you think you're the one who's been ruining these damn puppets?
For you since 2016. Theorists, it is back. The OG of internet horror, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, has returned. Now, if you're not familiar with the series, I can't really blame you. It's been a long time since we've gotten any sort of update. 3 years, in fact. To catch you up, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, or DHMIS, is a YouTube series created by Becky Sloan and Joseph Pelling, where puppets learn important...
To catch you up to speed, to bring you into the loop, it is an awful and terrifying experience. You will become PTSD certified, dude.
Lessons about creativity.
Mine is being creative.
Love. And nutrition.
Greedy to eat all that.
All sense of creativity and love will be thrown out of the window after viewing this. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know. The only thing you will ever taste in life ever again is despair.
End up with your gums all grey. But
your sense of time, gone.
Well spotted there, Duck. Something is very clearly wrong. At a glance, the show feels like your typical Sesame Street-inspired children's program about learning. In fact, the visuals are such a good imitation of a kid's show that YouTube marked one of my DHMIS theories as made for kids and tried to shove the thing onto the kids app. At which point I was forced to write an explanation to the machine gods that sometimes the visuals of something don't match the actual content. You see, by the end of every episode, things
That would have been hilarious. That would have been absolutely hilarious if the OG Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared video got tagged as made for kids. And it's like on YouTube Kids app, right? Little Sally. Little Sally is just enjoying her Thursday evening. You know what I'm saying? She's on the iPad. She's on the Kindle, right? Well, she's on the YouTube Kids app. She's just trying to watch some puppet shows. You know what I'm saying? Maybe watch some Harry Potter Puppet Pals. You know what I'm saying? Maybe watch a little bit of Sesame Street. You know what I'm saying? Then she stumbles, she sees Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. She's like, oh. Huh. That red, hairy, stringy monster, he looks kind of goofy. He looks kind of silly, the duck. That duck looks very interesting. Let me watch this video. This looks like a great, happy, joyful, playful puppet show experience for me. Little Sally, here I am. I have my animal crackers.
Horribly off the rails, and lessons about love suddenly turn into cult recruitment tools. Nutrition facts wind up with characters eating each other. The whole thing is a disturbing satire on the nature.
This is why some people went through emo phases. This is why. They were exposed to this at too young of an age, and their brains started developing with pure darkness ingrained in there, and then that's why they started like dyeing their hair black. This is why they're getting snake bites and screaming roar, because there's nothing but blackness in their heart, because that's all they knew. They grew up with this.
Of kids programming. Luckily, my thoughtfully worded letter to YouTube got him to see reason.
But then on the other hand, we got emo girls, which is not entirely a bad thing. So I guess there is some kind of positive to this, right?
Egg was removed, and a generation of toddlers was spared from witnessing this. Kids app, sure. In 2016, after 6 episodes, the creators literally pulled the plug on the series, but by then it had already cemented its place as an internet classic. Things were quiet until 2018 when DHMAS uploaded a trailer for a TV show based on the series. Finally, we were gonna get to see more from this twisted world.
In the mainstream,
for years,
dude.
nothing. At least until now. On June 19th, DHMAS uploaded their first new video in 3 years, a new trailer titled Fly, confirming that the show would finally see the light of day in September. But you know what? I don't want to wait that long. I want to get started.
The worst part about that TV show is it's gonna be in 4K. It's gonna be in 4. I thought high definition, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared was already terrible enough. It's gonna be in 4K, ultra crisp, clear.
Now. We know from past theories that there's a lot more to DHMAS than meets the eye, with each episode being a commentary on everything from children's programming to international politics, and I expect nothing less for the full-length TV series. So despite the teaser clocking in at just 50 seconds, we've analyzed it frame by frame, and I think it's clear what we're in for. A scathing critique on the state of world politics. I expect this new season of DHMAS is going to ultimately boil down to one key message. There is a core problem that everyone's ignoring, despite it being right in front of our eyes. And by ignoring it, the world is literally headed towards disaster. We are caught in a cycle of mistakes. And TV, the media at large, is not helping the
Here's a mistake. Here's a cycle of mistakes. We keep releasing Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared videos. Maybe that's a cycle we should work on breaking. Okay? Generational curses. Okay, maybe our future generations shouldn't be set up with trauma at a young age, you know?
Problem. Yep, got all that from 50 seconds, so come on, friends, there is so much learning to do. As a reminder, our 3 friends in DHMAS are Red Guy, Yellow Guy, and Duck. Based on our past—
I bet Jaden Smith would love this, right? The geopolitical state of the world. I bet he would, he'd love this. He about to become a Don't Hug Me stan. He about to make one of them Twitter accounts. He's like Yellow Guy as his profile picture. He's typing bestie. Wasn't fan cams.
We know that they're not just characters in a kid's program. Red Guy is the creator of the series. He was a normal guy with an office job who dreamed of creating his own kid show.
I see a silly face, walking along and smiling at me.
The whole thing is a bust until Yellow Guy's dad, Roy, comes in to financially back
Roy,
the show,
dude.
which seems like it should be a good thing until he starts filling it with more and more ads. Was there an ad there? There was an ad there, wasn't there? Art imitating life. Oh, it just gets more and more meta. Anyway, our previous theories concluded that DHMAS was a commentary on how the need to earn money corrupts creativity and how corporate interest tends to distort the education of children's programming. Yes. Eventually, the Red Guy has his mind blown when he discovers that he can make the show himself, releasing it on the internet for much cheaper while still maintaining his artistic integrity. Red Guy pulls the plug on the TV show when he sees the harmful effect it's having on children, as symbolized by Yellow Guy. Red Guy reboots it on a shoestring budget, but with the freedom for his pure creative voice to be heard. Also, there's Duck. Never really had a good explanation for him.
This shot just makes me uncomfortable. Like, just this picture, just knowing what they all originally look like. Yellow Guy was yellow, the duck, right? Red Guy was red. Just knowing what they originally look like and what they're supposed to look like, this makes me uncomfortable. You know? This is what gives me, you know, shivers my timbers, you know?
creative voice to be heard. Also, there's Duck.
Like,
Never
I need to
really had a
shower
good
now.
explanation for him, but yeah, he's an actor on the program too. And that's largely where we left off. Like I mentioned earlier, there was another trailer named Wakey Wakey released back in 2018, but that's since been removed by the creators, instead replaced by this new trailer, Fly. So what horrific life lessons are in store for us in the new series? Let's check it out. We open on some sort of structure in ruin, rocked by either an explosion or a natural disaster. It seems to be a house based on what
Society
we see scattered
crumbled.
around the structure. A children's tricycle,
World
mattress,
economies
bathtub,
fail.
what looks to be pipes and heaters, television, all items that you'd typically see in a house. The moment the TV enters the frame, we actually start to hear the buzzing of flies. Given that Fly is also the name of the video, something tells me that that detail is going to be important. Several shots of our main characters flash by in the static on the TV.
Listen, I
including
still
Duck with
stand by
newspaper-
this. I don't know how many times I've told you this, I still stand by this. Okay? Flies are one of the 4 beings on planet Earth that were created and sent for the one and sole purpose of irritating the fuck out of humans. That's it. Flies serve no other purpose but to buzz around and piss me off. They do nothing else.
Red guy on the phone, yellow guy playing a banjo. We then fully enter the reality of the show with our 3 main characters sitting around their kitchen table exactly like they did in the original series. A fly buzzes around the refrigerator, approaches the table, and lands on yellow guy's eye before Duck squashes it, saying, "Pesky bee." We then zoom back out of the destroyed house with a "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" title card and a release window of September 2022. Okay, so that initially doesn't seem to be a whole lot
Just
to work with,
random.
but when you break the trailer down while also looking
And
at
they're
the
gonna
cast of the
release
series-
it on a terrible day too, right? They're gonna release it on a terrible day, right? Like, what day in September was there just like an event that was so just like tragic? And just like it was just baffling, something that we had never really seen before. Just one of the biggest disasters known to, the United States, right? What happened in September? You know what I'm saying? What was that? That was like what? September like 25th or something like that? It's like Arbor Day or something, dude. You know what I mean?
Series and its creators,
That's when they're gonna release it, on that day. On that day.
Actually a ton here. First of all, it's clear that the new show is going to continue its critiques on television and
It's like the day people decided to start canning sardines, right? The first canned sardine released September 25th. And these motherfuckers are like, hey, let's be devious.
The framing device of zooming through a ruined house before focusing on a TV at the center of it all is not particularly subtle, but I actually think the release date is our strongest evidence to this point. Dates are very important in DHMAS. As we've pointed out in past theories, June 19th, that date on the back wall of every episode of the show, on that day in 1955, stock markets across the world soared so high that they broke practically every record. It was also around this time that the UK television market opened for private companies to make their own TV channels that are focused solely on profit. And for a series focused on how advertising corrupts media made for kids, yeah, that is gonna be a pivotal moment. The first of these for-profit channels was ITV, founded on September 22nd, 1955. And wouldn't you know it, but this new season of DHMAS is premiering in, wait for it, September 22. For a series that's so concerned about dates, it's not likely that that's a coincidence. It's
Okay,
also
but
no
what about the
mistake that the
25th?
calendar in the show is once again stuck on June 19th. But
What
we'll get
about
back
the
to that in a minute.
25th?
Next, let's talk
There's
about
gotta be
the
some
fly.
significance
Clearly,
there.
the symbolism of flies
I didn't
is
just pull it out
important
of my
here.
ass.
Flies, the title of the video. We hear buzzing flies the moment
I mean,
the
I did,
television
but-
enters the frame. It lands on yellow guy's eye. It gets squished. It is the main thing from the trailer. Flies are also the only aspect of the teaser that exists.
Let me guess. This flies some spiritual being that can open portals traveling through dimensions.
both the ruined building
And he's
in
been
the
sent
world of the show
by
and the
Satan
television.
to
So the
stir
issue or
chaos.
issues that the flies represent exist both in the real world and are infecting the programming itself. But what does it mean? Well, flies usually indicate a problem. They're usually depicted alongside things
Wow.
that are dead or rotten. Rotting fruit, dead bodies,
Who'da
that kind of
guessed?
thing. So DHMAS's commentary here might be indicating that modern TV, for profit with advertisement, is either a dying medium or is rotten in some way. We children of the internet have known that for a while now, and even the original 6 episodes of DHMAS seemed to know that back in 2016.
I
So
agree,
I
TV
feel
pisses
like
me
that's
off.
probably not what they're going for here. Instead, it feels like something is rotten here. Rotting your brain, rotting society. Unclear, but let's keep looking for clues. I bet we'll figure out something. Red Guy is actually featured the least in the trailer, appearing only in the cartoon world's establishing shot.
Listen, TV isn't all that bad, though. Have you heard about Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives? Now that's a show.
A glitchy shot where he's holding a
No,
phone,
that's
the
a
brief
show.
reaction shot to the fly buzzing around the
There's
fridge.
no advertising
Admittedly,
that whatsoever.
This is only really conjecture, but we can potentially make some assumptions based on Red Guy's previous role in the series as the lead creative of the in-universe show. If we still think of him as the representative of creators like Sloan and Pelling, we see that he's the first to notice the fly buzzing around the fridge. He is the first to notice the problem. When he tries to communicate his ideas or raise concerns, like say over a phone, the signal gets distorted, just like it does on the TV. Again, just conjecture here, but we may be able to identify him here as the creative voice that gets squashed or distorted when he tries to bring up issues through his art. After Red Guy notices the fly, it lands on Yellow Guy's eye. Now, throughout DHMAS, Yellow Guy has always represented the youth.
Kids are gonna
Younger people
love
in the process
this.
of learning about the world. Those younger people are also always being told that they're wrong by the media.
I might paint a picture of a clown.
Whoa there, friend, you might need to slow down.
See, here's the thing, right? Like, I get it. Like, yeah, they're making their point, right? The capitalism bad, right? No, we know all my homies hate capitalism, right? We on the same gang, right? But it's like, was this really the way you had to go about it? Is this the only way that you could have done this? Just scarring me for life? That's to get your point across? Well, I mean, it worked. It definitely worked. But could we have some more, sane ways of doing it? Less psychotic?
Them into your favorite color.
Green
is not a
there was a whole lot of
Or
brainstorming.
taking
Like,
advantage of.
this, some British guy walked in. Oh, top of the morning to you, laddies. Oh, pip, pip, cheerio. We shall traumatize those stupid American saps, those hobknockers.
Here, the fly lands directly on Yellow Guy's eye, and he reacts.
They're like, oh, splendid idea, you old scallywag. 14 points for Gryffindor, right? And he gets a raise.
Yellow Guy sees the problem. He can't not see it. It is literally on his eyeball. It is symbolic of young people seeing that there's clearly a problem in society. The question is, what is he gonna do about it? For now, all we get is a huh, which is consistent with Yellow Guy's reactions in previous episodes. He's naive, uncertain, absorbing ideas along the way. I suspect it has to do with the brief shot of Yellow Guy with the banjo. It's important to note that up to this point, Yellow Guy has never been the one singing the actual songs in the show. He's always getting bombarded with everyone else's lessons. But in this case, he's the one holding the instrument. So maybe we're at a point where we get to hear what Yellow Guy finally has to say. He's stepping up and taking action. Maybe this new series is the story of him standing up and doing something for a change. He sees the fly and he has something to say about it. And then there's Duck. Like I mentioned before, Duck's role in the series has always been a bit unclear, but it seems like the creators recently have been interested in exploring the character more, considering that in both the deleted
like Yellow Guy's a
Wakey
Chad.
trailer as well as in Fly, Duck is the one taken center stage. Though the episode Wakey Wakey never aired, summaries of it appeared online after it premiered at the Sundance Film Festival. In it, Duck takes advantage of his history as a well-known television personality to step up and fill the power vacuum left by the mayor's disappearance. He's manipulated by a singing key into locking down the city, installing duck-built cameras everywhere to create a secure
That's fun.
surveillance state.
You always know we're gonna have a fun time when an inanimate object comes to life, grows eyeballs, and starts singing at you. We all know that leads to nothing but fun times and happiness, rainbows and pots of gold, little leprechauns.
The city, installing duck-built cameras everywhere to create a secure surveillance state, and he ultimately blames everything bad that happens on mysterious strangers who are coming to get us. He creates chaos by causing people to suspect their neighbors, and when anyone dissents, Duck drills into the heads of the locals in order to brainwash them into repeating everything he says. At the time, Wakey Wakey
Sounds like a wonderful film.
seem to be the creators Becky Sloan and Joseph Pelling drawing parallels to the politics of the United States. Duck, as a former TV star in political power, sharing many similarities with then-President Donald Trump, who was infamous for othering and sending suspicion over various
So Duck is racist. Nice.
ethnic groups. But
That's
looking
great.
at Duck's role now, he seems to represent something much
The
broader.
green
One thing
guy.
that's always slipped my notice is that Duck's always reading a right-wing newspaper. And that's not me making judgment calls here either. That is literally the name of the newspaper that we see in episode 1. Duck has it again in the computer.
Duck, where were you on January 6th?
Episode and again here in Fly. So Duck seems to be a right-leaning figure, a conservative, but the creators have added more commentary than just that. Notice that the headline is Power Surge Leads to Blackout. At first I thought that this
Is
was
that
just
why nothing good ever happens when Duck's around?
a funny little detail. It's been well documented
Whoa,
that
you should have never told me this dude was a conservative, bro. I'm gonna have way too much fucking fun with this.
leads to blackout. At first I thought that this was just a funny little detail. It's been well documented that during the commercial breaks of soap operas or other popular programs,
Oh my god, I'm shocked. He's reading anything that has to do with black, dude.
power
Wow.
grids in the United Kingdom experience a surge of demand as thousands of people simultaneously put kettles on the stove to make their tea. Maybe this shot of Duck was just a small nod to that phenomenon, another way that TV is controlling people's lives and shaping the world.
Brainwashing the youth to own the libs. Let's fucking go.
But then I noticed which section of the paper this was in. It's under the opinion section. That sort of news is not the sort of story that should be filed as an opinion. That is a legitimate news story. And so it appears to me that this is yet another critique from Sloan and Pelling about the news media, misreporting objective fact as opinion in an attempt to create a false balance between the sides of an issue. It's also a commentary on the person reading the paper, considering opinion is misspelled opinion. In short, the creators don't seem to
yeah,
think
dude.
Duck
A
or people
conservative definitely wrote that, dude. Absolutely.
like him are very smart, which leads to Fly, where Duck
trying to pass off an opinion as fact, and then not even just misspelling. Yeah,
creators don't
absolutely.
seem to think Duck or people
Absolutely.
like him are very smart, which leads to Fly, where Duck sees the fly, swats it down, and calls it by the wrong name, Pesky Bee. This directly calls us back to DHMAS episode
He's purposely calling it by the wrong name. Purposely, he's refusing to refer to the fly how it properly identifies. Imagine.
calls it by the wrong name.
Imagine.
Pesky Bee. This directly calls us back to DHMAS episode 3, which was about love when a butterfly gets swatted.
Pesky bee?
Let's look at both of them and see how they compare, since these moments are clearly meant to be parallel. In the first case, Yellow Guy sees the butterfly, gets excited by this beautiful, harmless creature in the outdoors, and Duck kills it without thinking. This drives Yellow Guy away for the rest of the episode to learn about love. In Fly, again, Yellow Guy sees something first, in this case it's the fly, an indicator of the problems
It's
in the
not very pro-life of you, Duck.
outer world before Duck swats it down. In both cases, Duck sees something, he fails to recognize it for what it is, and then he kills it without asking questions. In the first, Duck kills something that's a beautiful part of nature. In the second, a fly should be telling Duck that there's a deeper problem here. Something is rotting nearby. But Duck calls him a bee. He's failing to recognize that anything is truly wrong. It's symbolic of leaders failing to recognize the bigger problems that we're facing, instead just swatting down the
Wonder who
symptoms
that
and
would be.
pretending that that's enough. It's a pesky bee, not the rotting corpse that's
Wonder
hidden
who that would
inside
be.
the refrigerator or whatever. It's not clear whether Duck is meant to be a specific right-wing figure here. The creators of the show are British, which would point to the right-wing.
Gee, I don't know, man. A completely oblivious, raging, right-wing, ignorant buffoon. I wonder who that would be. I wonder.
Soon to be
Not
former
specific at all.
British PM Boris Johnson. Regardless of who it is, it seems like the theme is consistent. Duck and those like him are
What's the deal with Boris? What's the deal? I've seen things about Boris. What's the deal with Boris? I'm just a dumb American, dude. I don't pay attention to UK politics, dude. I'm drinking tea, dude. What is there to politicize?
Johnson. Regardless of who it is,
He
it seems like
eat
the
crumpets
theme is
anyways.
consistent. Duck and those like him are ignoring the rot around them, pretending everything is fine, or just tackling symptoms without
So
getting
yellow guy is the liberal, right? Is that how it works? Right? Yellow guy is like the liberal, right? And then red guy is like he's like the anarchist,
to the
right? He's the sovereign citizen. He's one of those, like, people that live off grid. He, like, lives in a van.
Cause of the problem. The implication here is that ultimately something in DHMIS and the broader world is systematically wrong and our leadership is collectively ignoring it. I think the takeaway from the trailer, other than I'm just excited to see more, is that DHMIS is going to be picking up right where it left off when it comes to thinly veiled political commentary and extremely sharp social observation. In fact, I think they're going to go one step further and not just pick up where they left off, but pick up before they left off. The original 6-episode run of DHMIS ended with the calendar in the background changing.
Oh my God, you're right!
Off. The original 6-episode.
He turned red! Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah.
Episode run of DHMIS ended with the calendar in the background changing days from June 19th to June 20th. We've moved forward in time. We've progressed. Red Guy pulled the plug on his ad-heavy children's show and decided to independently produce it on YouTube. There was...
You know what date's not on that calendar? January 6th.
There was new opportunity, but now we've regressed. The calendar in Fly has reset to June 19th. Resetting the date seems to be meant to tell us that history is repeating. We're making the same mistake.
Did I say rat shit?
Resetting the date seems to be meant to tell us that
rat shit.
History is repeating. We're making the same mistakes. We are stuck in a negative cycle, like Duck ignoring the problems, or Yellow Guy who doesn't know enough to recognize history when he sees it. We're going to be reliving the same issues over and over again. We keep swatting the fly, but calling it a bee. We keep treating the symptoms, but not addressing the root problem. Maybe we as viewers didn't do a good enough job of recognizing the problems around us. And so DHMIS's new season will be us reliving them again until we can get it right. Looks like the show is trying to teach us something after all, and not just about nutrition.
Okay, so this giant, that's Elon then, right? This piece of meat, that's Elon. Right? And then, right, the clock? The clock, that's like what? That's who? That's like what? Nancy Pelosi?
But the bad, not healthy foods are very rude and must leave through the cat flap.
That doesn't make sense.
Also, guess we're gonna have to wait until September to find out more. Suppose it gives me time to figure out how to watch shows that are currently airing on the BBC. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cuts. And hey, if you want to catch up on our previous theories on Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, you should check them out because they're on screen right now. We dove deep into the lore of the franchise.
Nice, dude. Nice. We got a perfect combination of all of Chris's trauma wrapped into one. You've got Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, and you've got politics. When two absolute devilish, evil worlds collide, it causes nothing but pure chaos. As you saw at the beginning of the Don't Hug Me trailer, it was Armageddon. It was an apocalypse. Society was laid to ruins and economies worldwide had collapsed. We had all ceased to exist, and this is what happens, okay? This is what happens when nobody wants to listen to me, okay? I tried to warn you of the terror of the destruction that just allowing these things to run rampant is going to cause, and now look at what happened. Now it's too late. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared influences the geopolitical landscape of the entire world. Donald Trump is winning in 2024 just because Duck is funding his campaign, dude. I don't know what the hell is going on, dude. My whole life is in shambles, and this is pure and utter chaos.